I'm not gonna lie to you guys, coming into the 2020 Major League Baseball season, I was super nervous that MLB Recap was gonna get postponed to 2021 because I thought the season was going to be postponed until next year. Now, fortunately for us, after what happened with the Marlins and the Cardinals, those teams had outbreaks, and then what happened with the Indians with Zach Plesac and Mike Clevenger breaking team protocols and Major League Baseball protocols, I think the entire league kind of looked at it and said, we can get through the season, but we have to be more responsible, and that's exactly what happened. I haven't heard about a positive test in weeks. We made it to the World Series. Can we get a like for actually making it to the World Series? I'm so pumped up. On one hand, we have the Rays. On the other hand, we have the Dodgers. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and predict who is going to win game number 1 and then who is going to win game number 7, because yes, I think that this series is going to go 7 games. The Dodgers and the Rays match up almost perfectly, so we're going to break it down game by game. Starting off with game number 1, we're not going to waste any time. I have a weird feeling, now this is not driven by statistics because you can't really go off stats when talking about the playoffs and Clayton Kershaw and Tyler Glasnow, because thus far they haven't really been all that trustworthy in the playoffs, but for whatever reason, my brain and my heart are in sync. I'm going to go with the Dodgers in game number 1. I think that Clayton Kershaw is going to have one of his better starts. I'm not saying that he's going to throw 8 innings and have 13 strikeouts like he did in his first game against the Brewers in this playoffs, but I do think that he's going to go at least 6 innings. I think he's going to rack up the strikeouts, but that's just my opinion. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. I know that Tyler Glasnow is disgusting. His filthy, his per-nines, and everything that Sabermetrics has to offer says that Tyler Glasnow has been a great pitcher for the Rays. I just don't trust him in the postseason, and I don't even trust Clayton Kershaw. So for me, I would say that game 1 is kind of a wash. Now, game number 2 for me is a whole lot easier to predict. I know that Blake Snell is on the bump, but he's down 0-1 against the Dodgers according to my predictions. But on the other side of the diamond, you have Walker Buehler. So I think that 0-1 deficit is going to turn into an 0-2 deficit. I understand Blake Snell is great, but Walker Buehler in the playoffs, he has a 2.44 career postseason ERA. Something in his arm just activates where he throws harder. He's a little bit more accurate. He didn't have any walks in his last start. So I think that the Dodgers are going to take a 2-0 advantage over the Rays in the first 2 games. But here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because right now I'm predicting these starting matchups. The only thing that we know right now is that Kershaw is going to go up against Tyler Glasnow in game number 1. Now, game number 2, that was a prediction from me. Buehler versus Snell, just the timing matches up. That's going to be on October 21st. Remember the dates, because they are not playing every single day. I'll throw up the schedule right now. There's going to be an off day in between some of the games, and that is going to allow the starting pitchers to match up with 5 days rest and come back and be their dominant selves. So we might not see an opener from the Dodgers for a few games. Now, in game number 3, I'm going to go ahead and go with Uncle Charlie. Big game, Charlie Morton. There's, again, just like Walker Buehler, something about the postseason just brings the best out of Charlie Morton. I think that he will be dueling Julio Urias, who has also been equally as great so far in this 2020 postseason. But I think the Rays offense, this is the game, in my opinion, in which Randy Arozarena is going to show up and show the world that he is not a one-hit wonder. I think that he's going to continue from the Yankee series to the Astro series into the World Series after just winning ALCS MVP. I think Charlie Morton and Randy Arozarena, those are going to be your players of the game for game number 3. So going into game number 4, the Dodgers are up 2-1, so the Rays desperately need to win this game. But if I'm going off my predictions and the way that it's been going so far, I think that you would have to go with Tony Gonsolin as your game 4 starter if you're the Dodgers, versus an opener, because you've already gotten Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, and Charlie Morton. You most likely are going to have to go with Peter Fairbanks as your opener, or maybe you go with John Curtis. I'm not too sure how that's going to work out. But in game number 4, I'm going with the Dodgers. So as of right now, it is October 24th. Okay, remember that October 24th, we had an off day on the 22nd. So we had games on the 20th, the 21st, the 23rd. So we skipped the 22nd and the 24th. What does that mean? I think that you will be able to have Clayton Kershaw versus Tyler Glasnow in game number 5. And in that game, I think Tyler Glasnow is going to be able to really settle down and understand that it's about every single pitch as opposed to worrying about what you're doing the next at bat. Focus on every single pitch. I think that he's going to do that. And on 5 days rest, I think that he is going to outduel Clayton Kershaw. But then again, it could be a game in which Dustin May starts, and then you go to Blake Treinen, and then you go to, I don't know. That game is going to be a little bit weird, but so far I have the Dodgers winning game 1, I have the Dodgers winning game 2, the Rays in game 3, in game number 4 I have the Dodgers yet again, and then game number 5 I have the Rays. So going into game number 6, this is a must-win game for the Rays, and I think that they do win it. You have Walker Buehler versus Blake Snell. For me, I think Blake Snell is going to get better as this series progresses because Either the Dodgers are going to absolutely rake off Blake Snell, or Blake Snell is going to read the scouting report and be able to pinpoint his pitches a little bit better. And I mean, one thing that I will say is that his control has been a little bit shaky. He's gotten himself into some trouble, but because he's so nasty, he's been able to get out of it. So I think the Rays win game 6, and I don't know who's going to be the player of the game. I'm just predicting how... Anyways, game number 6 goes to the Rays. So here we go. Game number 7, all hands on deck. I have no idea who is going to be the starters in this game, but I do think that the Dodgers win in 7 games. Now, from game number 1 to game number 7, who is going to be the World Series MVP? I am going to go with I don't know. I honestly have no idea because Corey Seager was great in the NLCS, but Mookie Betts is starting to get a little bit hot, so it could be Mookie Betts. And also, he has not hit a home run in the postseason. So because of how great his defense has been, I'm trying to convince myself, I think that Mookie Betts is going to secure a regular season MVP, maybe. I mean, it's probably Freddie Freeman. Now I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman as the 2020 regular season MVP. And then Mookie Betts, he will get the World Series MVP. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. I still think that we're going to come out with recaps. I'm not too sure. I also will be live streaming on Twitch my live reactions to these games if my internet holds up. But let me know, what do you make of my Game 7 predictions? The Dodgers win it. The Rays are a great team. The Dodgers are a great team. They match up almost perfectly. Great offense. Although the Rays offense, in terms of batting average, wasn't that great against the Astros. But it just goes to show that if you play great defense, if you have good timing home runs, good things can happen. And that's exactly what the recipe is for the Dodgers as well as the Rays, because they hit home runs, they get on base sometimes, but it's about the home run and good pitching. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Peace out.
Got him. They've done it. Like the 1969 Mets, it's the impossible dream revisited.